Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry, and it's time once again to return to Creature of Havoc. Now, if you skipped the previous video, because it was mostly character creation and adventure background, there's absolutely no shame in that. I won't mind as long as you enjoy this one. Man, I remember this picture. So many of these illustrations just stay with us for years afterwards. Just the sheer quality, you know. The pain is unbearable. Summoning up all your energy, you open your eyes. First one, then the other. They narrow to slits as they adjust themselves to the strain of trying to see once more, then relax as they make out familiar shapes in the dim light. A dirt floor, rock walls. Then the pain takes over. Your head rocks. Your eyes submit and close tightly in an agonized grimace. Instinctively you raise your hands to cup your face, and a low moan mingles with a rasping sound as your rough fingers rub the scaly skin over your eyes. After some time, the pain begins to ease. You open your eyes once more and peer out from between your gnarled fingers. You seem to be at the dead end of a passageway. Your surroundings are barely visible, but a dull glow is coming from the northern extent of the passageway which stretches before you. A sound is also coming from this direction, of irregular breathing. Something alive is up there. You heave your great bulky body to its feet. Along your back the spines bristle, swinging your head slowly from one side to the other. Your progress is decided. Northwards is the only option to you. Muscles strain and succeed in raising a lumbering foot which thuds loudly down on the ground in front of you. You repeat the action. First with one foot, then the other. After 4 steps, the motion has become automatic. You are moving more quickly and more quietly up the passage. When you reach the end, your eyes are drawn to a huddled shape lying on the ground in front of you. A small figure lies on its side, facing away from you. It is shrouded by a dirty brown cape tied around its neck, and it lies in a puddle of thick red liquid. Its body rises and falls irregularly with each breath. Some unidentified feeling swells within you. Is it anger, hate, fear, curiosity, hunger, or even sympathy? You bend down towards the little creature, uttering a meaningless grunt as you do so. The sound rouses the figure, which rolls slowly over to face you. The creature's dirty face is light-skinned, though barely visible under the thick hair which shades its closed eyes and almost totally obscures its mouth. From its chin, the hair rolls abundantly down its chest in a grey, unruly mass. Underneath the body, and now exposed by the creature's movement, is a sharp, shiny shaft. This catches your attention. As you stand there staring, the creature's eyes flick open. They focus on your bulky shape, and a look of terror streaks across the creature's face. In spite of its pain, it fumbles for and grasps the shiny shaft, holding its pointed end out towards you and baring its teeth. The wounded dwarf you have found is evidently in need of help. We could try to talk to him, bring our foot down heavily on his neck, or show him we mean no harm. Do we want to crush this scrawny individual? Talking, I imagine, is not our strong point. We don't know if we want to hurt him yet. Should I just crush the weak because I am strong? I don't know what's going on. I'll attempt to show him I mean no harm. You reach down with your hand to help him to his feet, but as you move, the little creature strikes and his sword cuts into your forearm. Luckily, the tough scales prevent it from dealing any real harm, but you lose 2 stamina points. Considering your size in comparison to his action was understandable. Now, instead of reaching for his arm, your hand opens and grips the dwarf's neck. You struggle to control your actions, but to no avail. Your sharp talons dig into the unfortunate creature's flesh. His eyes bulge and he tries to scream. Frantically, he hits you again with the sword, but the blow lacks power. Even so, you lose a further one more stamina point. Then his body goes limp. Man, I imagine if we tried to talk to him, it would be even worse. Your tremendous strength put the poor creature out of his misery, but the incident has left you feeling strange. Although you wish to help the dwarf, you have helped him only to an early grave. Will you put these thoughts out of your mind and leave the area? Or we could try to hide the body, or examine the body. This is fighting fantasy. Examining the body is probably a good idea. Hiding the body, though. This could help push. I'm going to do this. This is interesting. This intrigues me. If I examine the body, can I then hide it afterwards? I'm going to do this and see where it leads. You plan to drag the body down the short passageway to the south. You bend down to grip the lifeless figure, but instead of responding to your wishes, you find that your body has other ideas of its own. Oh dear. Of course, we are a creature of instinct. We're still learning. But if we act to get... by choosing a path, we might be shaping the instincts in the future. Your scaly hands relax, and the sharp claws retract into your fingers. You clumsily fumble through the dwarf's dirty vestments. So this feels almost like it was a false choice, right? Like, I'm going to be forced to do this instead of hide the body. But... message on behind... okay. But maybe not. You know, maybe the fact that we wanted to do something else is a step in a direction. I don't think a lot is being tracked, so it would literally need to be lots of divergent paths. Your fingers will not fit into the pockets, but you do succeed in snapping the thongs of a large leather pouch which the creature has around its waist. As the ties break, the pouch spills its contents on the ground in front of you. It contains several circular pieces of shiny metal and a piece of hide which unfolds as it drops out of the pouch. It is light in colour and has markings all over one side. You pick it up awkwardly and look at it, but it makes no sense at all. You become quite fascinated with this piece of leather. You turn it around, rub it with your hands, and throw it in the air. You place it on your arm and on your head. You decide to take the leather with you. Unknown to you, the message on the hide may be useful later in your adventure. Apparently we may now examine the message. Swujnen verbird apfo oh my goodness, this goes on. Litji fot ecker fip fojlif vlub dam no bamps to sfridge. I wonder if this is some kind of substitution code. Interesting. But we go, yeah. Underneath this writing, more is written. Underneath this writing is more, but written in a different style. equals /minus Wujengfde Flumphed. Once you've examined the letter... This is interesting. That's in italics. Once you've examined the letter, you decide to continue onwards. Yes, maybe this will make sense later. As you may have realized by now, your own wishes have little effect on your reactions as a creature. You have only glimpses of what you are like and what you are capable of. Although this will change as the adventure progresses, at this stage you are at the mercy of your own whims and instincts. You are standing at a junction where you may either go east or west. Oh, we're probably going west then. Yes, unfortunately. You travel west along a twisting passageway. Several times you bump clumsily into the walls and grunt in annoyance, but your tough scales protect you from damage. The temperature drops noticeably and each breath sends steamy snorts from your nostrils. After narrowing slightly, the passage widens as it leads towards a chamber. A sound from ahead and a flickering light warn you to take care, but rather than making you stop to listen, the prospect of an encounter seems to excite you. You bare your teeth and your claws and stride forward into the chamber. Roaring like an enraged demon, you rush into the open chamber, ready to take on whatever is inside. Terrified shrieks come from a small party of adventurers huddled around a makeshift campfire in the center of the area. 3 figures are warming themselves by the fire. One wears shiny clothes that clink as he moves. Another is dressed in red and also grows long dark hair from his chin. The third is a tiny creature with polished hide on his chest. He has no hair on his chin, but has plenty on his feet, which he has been holding up to warm the fire. He's a hobbit! Your eyes fix on the smallest of the 3. Your breathing gets heavier and a feeling of pure hatred grips you. Without hesitating, you stomp across and grab the miserable hobbit with your claws. The other 2 are caught off balance and are slow to react. The hobbit has no weapon and should be an easy victim. We must fight! Roar! Then let us do so. And no matter what we roll, if we get doubles, we are winning. Oh, you poor little halfling. You never knew what was coming. We ain't going to be rolling doubles very often, but we can try. Ooh. 3 diff. So... yes, a draw, isn't it? Yeah. The combat has lasted long enough. Oh, okay. Interesting. Despite it taking longer than you have liked, you finally kill the little creature. You turn your attention to the other 2 humans. While you have been battling their companion, they have been preparing to attack. The red-robed figure is facing you, pointing the little finger of each hand at you and mumbling. The shiny human has grabbed a sword, similar, you remember, to the dwarf's, but larger, and is shouting to the other. Commenter plodge simage dish bum jitim by abfed bilfret tup olf bada vsu tpof taswjnf bufbara takvir. You cannot fight both at once. Which one will you direct your attention to? Oh, we roll. We are a creature of instinct after all. The Shining Warrior it is. Ignoring the weaker looking of the 2 humans, you face the fight figure in clinking armor. He holds his ground, his sword poised ready to strike. The knight is wearing plate armor. Oh, he's probably likely to be a tough foe. Okay, let's pray for doubles. Really got to pray for those doubles here. Goes the monster, but no doubles yet. Creature of instinct and havoc. Oh, still no doubles. We're mullering this nightmare. But by the time he's defeated, the spell may be cast. Oh! And again. Oh, there we go. Your final blow sends the knight flying across the chamber to land in a crumpled heap against one wall. You grunt in satisfaction. Your attention is drawn immediately back to the dead hobbit lying by the fire, and your mouth waters at the thought of its sweet flesh. But you have forgotten the final adventurer. The wizard has now completed his spell. With a final incantation, he delivers his magic directed straight at you through his 2 fingers. You feel no more than a tingling sensation as the spell takes effect. Yip the uber fen wov fremjek pantriple of look roof. A smile spreads across the sorcerer's lips. Lami or just eber yipvir Bokmabin Gupt Refm Yakpn Rubbed Sub Duff Plumph. You intend to step forwards and slash him with your claws, but your muscles do not respond. Instead, you step over to the dead knight, pick him up and carry him over your shoulder. You do the same with the hobbit. The wizard then turns and makes his way down the passage. You follow, carrying the rest of his party, and this will be your fate, to spend the rest of your life as a slave to your master, whose creature control spell has worked perfectly. Your adventure has ended. Oh, that's a real shame. I mean, that was mostly just down to random luck, but we did get some very bad dice rolls. Come on, let me scroll down. I'm going to have a go again. That wasn't very fair. It wasn't very fair at all. But at least we can skip the introduction this time, right? Oh, yeah, adventurer. Better. Our creature this time is shaping up to... Oh, still skill 8. Oh well. Luck. Oh, terrible, terrible creature. Okay. Well, we're going to skip the backstory this time, having read it once already. And, given that we're right at the beginning, we're going to try talk to this little man. You greet the dwarf. At least you try to greet the little creature, but instead of any message from your throat, it is silence, and your hands reach down to grasp the terrified figure across the chest. He screams and makes a strange sound which sounds like... You try to answer, but the only sound you're able to make is a grunt of effort as your rough, scaly fingers close tightly around the creature's chest, and your sharp claws dig in. Summoning up all its strength, it swipes at you with its sharp sword. The blade digs in under the scales around above your knee, but the wound is not too serious. You lose 2 stamina points, so we're losing a bit less health this way. The blow causes you to roar loudly and increase the pressure on the creature's chest. Its ribs crack like twigs under the force of your grip, and the body falls limp. You drop it to the floor, where it lands like a sack of bones that it now is. Your thoughts are confused. If we try to leave, will we still be forced to search? I'm going to try hide the body again, and we're forced to search it. Examine the message, which we cannot decipher at all. And then, a random direction. Oh, this time, we get to go east, I believe. You decide to follow the passage east, to your right. Your first steps are slow as you take in the encounter with the dwarf. After a few paces, the corridor turns north. You approach a stout wooden door and must make a decision. Will you smash the door from its hinges and continue, or will you give up on this route and return to the dwarf's course? Instinct. You shift your weight and turn your great bulk around. With laboured steps, you stomp back the way you came and past the lifeless body. So, we're coming back to this chamber, where we're going to fight the little hobbit again. And maybe do better this time. Ooh! We took damage, okay. Man, we're going to need a double to win at this point. Double it is. Awesome. Auto kill. You rolled a double. Instant kill. As the creature dies, you sink your teeth into its arm to taste its juicy flesh. But then you remember the other two adventurers. Again! The red-robed figure is facing you, pointing the little finger of each hand at you and mumbling. The shiny human has grabbed a sword, similar, you remember, to the dwarf's, but larger, and is shouting to the other something indecipherable. Which will you do? We get to test our luck. Hooray, we're lucky. Barely. Your reaction is immediate. The red-robed human is deep in thought and looks an uneasy target. You step forwards and swipe viciously at him with your claws. He screams and falls to the ground, clutching at his face. You look down at the undefended wretch and prepare to deliver the death blow. But at that moment you feel a terrible sting in your back which causes you to bellow and swing round. The remaining adventurer has lunged at you with his sword and succeeded in piercing the scales and flesh on your back. You lose 2 stamina points. If you still live, you must face the night. Well, hopefully we won't be enslaved now. Man, do we have to not go this way and get through the door at the other side? That'd be really nasty. Fight on. Not a double. That's okay. Alright. Slightly to us. Still no... Oh, okay, fine. Well, auto kill. Didn't expect that little flip over there. You deliver the death blow and the knight drops to the ground. With the danger now over, your thoughts turn to food. The smell of the still warm hobbit reaches your nostrils and your mouth begins to water. You snatch the creature in one hand and eagerly sink your teeth into its sweet flesh, but this will merely provide a snack for now. Inside his armour, the knight is an impossible meal, but the red-robed wizard groaning on the floor may be a new taste for you to savour. You silence his miserable whimpers with a single deadly slash of your claws. For the tasty meal, your stamina restores to its initial level. After you have eaten, you rummage through the adventurers' belongings. Their packs have little of interest. The hobbit carried a miniature sword, and you find a rolled-up piece of thin parchment in the wizard's robe. All 3 humans carry odd-shaped lumps of a doughy substance, perhaps food, although it smells of nothing to you. They all have small hide pouches containing round, flat objects of shiny metal. You cannot think what these may be, so you toss them aside. You must now continue your journey. Passages lead off from the chamber to the north, east, and west. You decide to take the passage to the west. Indeed, our creature does seem to have a proclivity for turning westward. You leave the chamber, your way ahead lit by the flickering fire. Eventually the fire's light becomes too distant to help, and you are groping your way in pitch-black darkness. Suddenly a high-pitched twittering sound comes from above you, followed by others. You have disturbed a group of flying creatures which are now squeaking in alarm as they dart about you. You swipe at them blindly and catch 1 or 2 of them as they dive at you and scratch you with sharp claws, but your scales protect you from any serious harm. And you are soon further along the passage, where these creatures evidently do not venture. The passage turns north. You follow it around the bend to the right and stop in front of a wooden door. There is no further way forward. Will you heave at the door with your muscular shoulder, or is there something else you wish to do? Creature. 2 in 3. Chance. The door cracks under the force of your blow. A hole appears and you rip the timbers away until it is large enough for you to pass through. Torches are mounted on the wall of the room inside, and there are 2 doors, one to the east and one to the west. There is no furniture to speak of, but some remains, perhaps of a table and a chair, litter the floor among a thin covering of dirty straw. The wood has been broken in what appears to have been a furious battle, the result of which lies before you. In the centre of the room is a familiar sight. Casting your mind back to the battle you have just won, you recognise the figure of an armoured knight lying face down in the straw. His face is hidden under an elegant helmet decorated with wings coming from above each ear. A dark-bladed sword has entered his body through a gap in his armour between his arm and shoulder. Lying next to the knight are 3 other figures. One is similar in stature but wears a tough leather tunic and helmet. A bloodstain around his belly indicates how this adventurer came to grief. The other 2 figures are not so familiar. They are shorter than the others and are dressed in armour of scaly brown hide. They have gnarled, pug-nosed faces with vicious teeth set in their lower jaws. All 4 bodies are long dead. You step forward to get a better look. Suddenly you hear a chomping sound coming from somewhere in the room. In fact, several places, but you cannot see anything which might make such a noise. Your ears pass over the adventurer in leather armour and you suddenly freeze. While you are watching, a chunk of flesh disappears from his thigh. You watch incredulously for a few moments more. Not only does more flesh disappear from the adventurer's leg, but you also notice the body of one of the pug-nosed creatures twitch as its forearm suddenly loses a fleshy lump. This scene is worrying and you must decide what to do next. Well, we still have very little control over our instincts. Okay. We will investigate. As you approach the smaller of the 2 pug-nosed creatures and prod at it with your scaly foot, its lifeless body shrugs and lies still, but a similar prod on the leather-armoured adventurer's leg produces a startlingly different result. A shrill, screeching sound shocks you to attention. As if this were some kind of signal, something starts to happen in the room. 3 shapes begin to materialize in front of you. Oh, now they're not invisible anymore. Oh, these are some kind of impish creatures. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. There's more than 3 now. There's the helmet with the wings over the ears. There's the leather-armoured individual, I believe. Right. Your eyes widen as 3 scrawny creatures form before you. They are thin and angular and move in quick, jerky motions. Although their bodies are covered in a scraggy dark fur, their bony faces are bald with tiny eyes. In the centre of each face is an oversized protruding mouth, rimmed with sharp teeth. These vicious little flesh feeders live on carrion. While feeding, they make themselves invisible to avoid being caught unawares, but in between meals they are both visible and quick-tempered. They now face you, furious that their meals have been interrupted and you must battle with the creatures. Then so be it. Come on, you doubles. Or, just winning combat rounds, that's good as well. Oh! I don't know if that's a 4 or a 2. I suppose we'll find out at 2. It's fine. Last time. Come on. Ooh, that is a double, so we're okay. Auto kill. Second foe. Alright, we're 2 up on this one, so overall yeah, that's not good enough. monster. Okay, we're getting hurt again. Fine. I mean, look, it is what it is. We have very little control over the situation. Wallop! Pound it with mighty fist and rend it with sharp claws. Yes! Kill the imp things! And the third one as well, come then! The final foe awaits. Ooh! Wallop. Pound it, beat it, grab it and smash it against the floor. Be the monster. See the monster? Beat the monster. Oi, that one. Fine. Still win. Oh, not so good. Okay. Ah! Not a double. Okay, no, okay, fine, but stop it. I'm trying to... There we go. Got it. That was an awkward third round. You rest for a few moments to catch your breath, and then you survey the room. Survey being an interesting word for this creature. Your curiosity overcomes you, and you begin to investigate the 7 bodies in the room, yes, the 4 dead adventurers and the 3 flesh feeders. The pug-faced orcs are dirty and smelly. You try a mouthful of flesh, but spit it out in disgust. Ugh. Around their waist they carry small bags, which, when ripped open, send a shower of small bones flying across the room. Probably teeth. The 2 adventurers are not much more interesting. Similar pouches contain those round pieces of shiny metal which you came across before. They scatter on the ground and you ignore them. The pack on the back of the adventurer in the winged helmet is decorated and attracts your attention. One of the straps breaks as you rip it off his back and grope clumsily inside. You feel something solid. As you fumble angrily with the rucksack, a hard wooden casket drops to the ground and falls open. Inside is a clear, smooth flash which contains swirling purple gas. Your curiosity is captured, and your huge clawed hand tries to grip the delicate flask. But this turns out to be hopeless. Eventually, you pick up the casket and drop it on the ground. As luck would have it, the flask jumps in its cradle and lands in such a way that the stopper flips out of the flask, and it hasn't broken. The purple gas within swirls tempestuously, and its vapours seep slowly from the neck of the flask. Oh, it could be one of the vapours. The gas drifts from the flask, but rather than spreading out, it pulls itself together into a purple cloud and billows up before you. You watch open-mouthed as a shape begins to form in the cloud and eventually turns into a face, which stares deep into your eyes. The face is human-like, but thin and with jagged features. The pupils of its eyes are not round, but are instead serpent-like. Its thin-lipped mouth opens and speaks. Jibmar Miorfst. There's that verf again. There's definitely some pattern to this, which would be really great. I mean, maybe if we find like a decoder thing later on and then replay this, we could go, that's what all these mean. But there's definitely a meaning behind this, but we just don't understand it yet because we're a big dumb monster. Your anger mounts and you swipe at the cloud, but your clawed hand passes right through the gas without even disturbing it. The mysterious face blinks slowly, and the colour of the cloud flashes momentarily from purple to white and back to purple again. Then the face disappears, and the cloud is facer. They might want to tidy up a few of the typos in the scan here. Then the face disappears, and the cloud is sucked back down into its flask. Once safely inside the flask, the stopper replaces itself in the neck, and the bottle settles into its cradle in a wooden casket. An instant later, the casket and its contents have faded to nothing. Oh, wait. Angular, thin and jagged features. This could be Vapor, one of the elven gods. Demanding to know why he has been summoned and what power the Queen wants him to use, and we're not the Queen. You decide that you've had enough of this room, but you gain 2 luck points for your find. You also suddenly feel a sense of calm wash over you as you look at the 2 doors in this room. You realise that you can actually choose which door to leave the room by. Choice is a new and interesting concept. Perhaps the strange gas affected your power of reason. We could go for the door to the west or door to the east. This is book 24. I'm going to lean towards the east. You leave the room along a dusty corridor. A strange bluish light comes from glowstones set in the ceiling to light your way. With every step you take, a glowstone ahead of you lights up and one behind you fades to darkness. It is almost as if your progress were being monitored by some unseen entity. As you wait for your eyes to adjust to the light, you pause to consider the events in the previous room. You retract your claws and rub your rough, scaly belly thoughtfully. You can make no sense of what has happened. Eventually, you set off once more, and after a few paces you come to a junction. A passageway runs off to the north. We go north or east. This is an early book. We're going north, as we were originally facing that direction, and north is best, because it's not one of the mid-series books. Also, the pattern could be completely at fault here. I know I'm using the Fighting Fantasy rule. I have no idea how well it's going to work, because it applies better in some books than in others. Typically the first sort of 25 to 30 books, and then the last sort of 10 or 15 books of a series. Ish! But that's a very vague generalization. And remember that the Fighting Fantasy rule is just it's a default rule to use if you don't have any better ideas or information. Not something to stick too hard and fast. The glowstones once more light your way as you plod slowly north up the passageway. After a short distance, you see a shape ahead, slumped motionless on the ground. When you reach the spot, you can see that these are the remains of a small furry creature about the size of the dwarf you came across earlier. It was probably dead for some time, but if you are hungry, you may wish to feed on it. Are we hungry? Well, we're kinda hurt, so yeah. The dead hellhound would no doubt have made a tasty meal had you arrived several days ago, but now its rotten flesh gives you severe stomach cramps. You double over and your claws scrape on the rocky walls as you try to support yourself. We're learning from our experience, okay? We shall indeed continue. The passageway heads straight for some time until you finally reach its end at a junction. You may turn either east or west here. We're going to go east again. At some point, we will emerge from this complex of chambers and tunnels and hallways and passages. As you march on eastward, you reach a bend where the passage turns to the north. A creaking sound from around the corner alerts you, and you stop just before the bend. The sound is a slow, repeating creak. You peer around the corner to find out whether you can see anything, but the glowstones are not alike, and all you can see is blackness. We are given an option to go back. I don't think we are quite that cowardly or cautious, and we are somewhat desperate. Let's be a bold creature and bravely continue around the corner. You rush boldly around the corner to face whatever is making the creaking. Glowstones in the ceiling blink quickly up on in front of you, trying to keep up with your progress. After a few steps, you reach a junction with another passageway which runs from east to west, and on the left-hand wall you discover the source of the creaking, a sign suspended on a short pole. A cool breeze is wafting through the passage, and this is causing the sign to creak as it swings backwards and forwards. You study the sign, which reads Yfl Wust Punfi Mujnfs F Jisubi. We've had a Jisubi before. Interesting. Underneath the letters, there is a large arrow pointing eastward. You glare angrily at the sign for worrying you and swipe at it with your claw, but it's too high for you to reach. Can we tell which way the wind's blowing? Because take the sign's advice. Sure, we'll follow the sign because it's probably going further in and it's somewhere important. We don't know. The arrow looks like it's going somewhere. You follow the passage eastwards, peering ahead as the glowstones flick on to light your way. Eventually you arrive at 2 doors and you listen for any clues as to what may be beyond. No noise comes from behind the door in the north wall, but there are definite sounds coming from the door in the east wall. A heavy breathing is unmistakable and is interrupted by loud snorts. This sounds ominous. It sounds like something large is sleeping, and we probably don't want to disturb it. If we were more healthy, it'll be another matter, but for now let's try the door in the north wall. The door is locked. It may be possible to break it down, but you could damage your shoulder as the timbers are heavy. Well then, let's try the door in the east wall. The door shudders under your charge but does not open. You lose 1 stamina point. Then let's try again. Oh yeah, that's a big thing. That looks like a troll or something. Look at it. Or some kind of caveman. Interesting. You try again, and this time the bolt is torn from the frame. The door flies open and you step into the room ready for the creature inside. The room itself has a door in each wall. Scattered around one corner is an untidy pile of bones. In another corner is a half-eaten human carcass. Standing over the carcass, and evidently annoyed that its meal has been disturbed, is a bulky creature with a hairy face, razor-sharp teeth and wild eyes. As you enter, it turns to attack, and you must resolve your battle with the Manic Beast. Okay, Manic Beast, let's fight. We have a slight skill advantage, so that'll be a draw. We're just kind of praying for a double here, really. Oh, he rolled a double, not us. Ah! Ah! Fight on! Oh, it's close. We've got through a lot of fights so far. Either we're taking a very wrong and very dangerous path, or we're going to be rewarded with a lot of healing soon. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, well, death or glory? Looks like death. Can we use luck? No luck? No luck on it. Oh, can we have the luck for that? You are dead. This is the end of the Creature of Havoc. Well, hey, maybe we'll roll better stats next time. Man, I don't know what it is, but Fighting Fantasy Classics are really giving... No, go away. Really giving me some bad dice rolls recently. Okay. We can do this. Oh, another 19. Fine, 20. Respectable. Come on, give me a good number for skill or luck. 9's good enough, you know. We've had lots of bad rolls, so... Yeah, 9, okay, fine. So... I mean, if we kill him immediately, I think that'll make us more violent, so I'll go with talking. Try to hide the body, because it helps teach us that we currently don't have much control over ourselves. Roll. going this way instead of the locked door. Oh, it's going to be luck, isn't it? We fight the Hobbit. Try it for a quick kill. So this is a situation where using luck, sure, we'll go luck for extra damage. This makes it much more likely we'll get that kill. So we're pushing for a quick kill for a chance to kill the wizard. Oh, but we've then reduced our lucky chances. Yeah. Luck it is. Oh, good. We ain't going to be pushing luck again anytime soon. The knight's like, hey, stop hitting the wizard. I've got a weapon, damn it. Pay attention to me. And so we shall. We're a slightly more dangerous combatant. Oi! I hate it when a click just re-rolls the dice like that. Oh! Auto kill. Awesome. Yeah, we really need that a lot. So, yeah, we get health back. Okay. So we break the door down. We come in here again. Okay, we're investigating the bodies. That's great because it can lead us to a bit more free will. And we'll fight these three fiends. Okay, that hurts a little bit, but we can take it. And I'm thinking after this fight, once we gain the power of free will, I'll probably end the episode. Perhaps this creature will be more successful than the last. I mean, we couldn't be much more unfortunate. But hey, I don't know, I mean, we could offer auto kill! Mate, just let us resolve instead of rerolls. It's like, no. Okay, well, fine. Oi, no. Oh yeah, now you don't reroll. Fine. Auto kill. I wonder if you do it for the place I click. So, yeah, Flask, control. And there I think I'll leave it and take a break, because it's pushing 6 in the morning, guys. And I should really be going back to bed. Well, I'm leaving this one here. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will be picking it up in the very next episode. But you're going to have to wait a little bit for that one, because I need some sleep, man. So I'm going to say bye for now, and hope to see you all in the next one. Cheerio, everybody.